So this is a walkthrough of a couple of tactics that I started using with the BMAD method while using it with Codex. And ever since I started using these, things have been going a lot better and quicker with my development. So the first thing is I'm going to create a new terminal here and start Codex. So yeah, the first thing is instead of saying as the Scrum Master or as the dev do things, for some reason it feels like it's been more effective to say assume the role of Scrum Master. And when you say assume the role of and then the role, for whatever reason, it seems like it more consistently does actually assume the role. So then the next thing is I'll usually create a couple terminals. So each one with a different role, and I'll just rename the name of the terminal. So here I'll say it's a Scrum Master, and then this next one we'll make the dev. So assume the role of the dev, and I'll rename that. Just so you could kind of keep track of things, and I still mix it up sometimes and accidentally relay something to one of these roles that was meant for another. But okay, so I want to create a new story for this project that I have. Hang on a sec. Let's see the so so basically I'm going to try and reformat a page in an existing project here. So right now it looks like this. It's basically just an unformatted text page, and I want it to sort of like be broken up so that each section is a card that matches more of the aesthetic of the rest of the page, which looks like this. So I go to the Scrum Master and say, actually, you know what? I'm going to take a screenshot, which is another tip, so that you can take screenshots and drop them right in the project directory, or right in the project, create a directory specifically for them. So I have one here where I put all my screenshots, and so I could tell the Scrum Master to look in the screenshots directory for the latest screenshot. I want to reformat the terms page so that it's aesthetically similar to the rest of the app. This means that each header section should have its own card, and the headers should be formatted more strongly than the paragraph content. So I'm going to ask it to draft a story that the dev can implement. All right, so yeah, with the UI and UX issues, it's been helpful to refer to screenshots, and I found it easiest to just kind of have a directory and just always be dumping them in that same directory, and then just telling it to check there. for the latest, and it's done a pretty good job helping me get through some, I guess, tricky formatting issues. So it created the new story. I'm just gonna go for it since it's simple. Hand it over to the dev. So implement the story. Okay, so the dev finished the work, and it wanted to run playwright tests, and for something like this really wasn't concerned, so I just refreshed the page, restarted the server, and it looks like the formatting is, kind of as I asked it to be. So I think it's good enough, for me. So I'm gonna now tell the dev to mark the story is complete, and I'm going to push the git manually. So basically, each time the dev completes a story, I end up just marking the necessary artifacts as being complete, and then pushing to git myself instead of having the AI do it for me. But basically, I, rather than start like another story, it seems to be cleaner to just do one at a time and sort of clear the context, start over. And I know that's been recommended anyway. So like, yeah, I've noticed that that's worked better for me. So looks like that is done. So I'm gonna push it to Git. Terms page. All right, so we're all set there. So I'm actually going to quit and just basically clearing everything out so that dev's ready for like the next task when and if we have it. But I guess another thing that I started doing that has been very helpful is a lot of times when I was troubleshooting issues, it would ask me to like paste the output from the browser console or from the server. So instead of doing that over and over again, I just told it to write a script that'll log the browser console output as well as the server side. So then instead of having to always copy and paste, you could just tell it to look in the logs directory and check the browser and server logs. And it's just been a good time saver. It's saved me from a lot of copy and pasting that was kind of unnecessary. So another thing that I started to do is like, if I'm asking it to do something that's really complex that I don't understand completely myself, then rather than just interacting with it in the command line, I ask it to like initially create a document that captures like whatever that process is going to be. So like as an example, I wanted to try like parallel development. So in other words, I would create like multiple devs, and then I thought I could have like each dev work on a different story in parallel, and then I could merge all the um, the code changes at the end and theoretically accomplish much more since I'd be doing many at a time. It didn't work out very good for me, but yeah, the way that I did it, the way that I was able to actually figure out how to even accomplish that was I had it generate this parallel dev guide document that covered like all of the steps that would need to be taken in order to achieve that. So it's like, creating multiple work trees per each story, pretty much, and then um, copying .env files and figuring out like which ports each of these like parallel development streams would be running on when they were actively being developed. And like for all those reasons, because it was so complex to just keep track of all of those factors, for me it slowed me down because I my brain just couldn't keep up with all of the different complexities. And then imagine like you have, for me, I had like 4 or 5 of these devs running at once and trying to keep track of which story they were working on and which port that particular story was running on. And then when I like, refresh the browser and try and check to see if that story was accomplished, it was very difficult to just keep track and remember what I was even doing or trying to accomplish. So I found it much better and faster to just, create or to have one story being developed at a time, get that done, push it to get moved to the next story, as opposed to trying to tackle like 5 stories at once. But the good thing that came from it was this idea of having it just create like a process document that's persistent, because the first iteration was not correct. And so like the minute you start following the instructions that it gives you, let's say it's still in the command line, and you start getting errors, and let's say you're on step 2 of 12, by the time you get through resolving the issues in step 2, you as a human have probably forgotten the next 10 steps that are supposed to happen. And the AI seems to also get somewhat confused as far as what the ultimate objective was and what the original plan was. So being able to refer back to that document for both the human and the AI, I think was very helpful. So yeah, I think those were pretty much the main lessons learned, and hopefully, I guess that, hopefully will help some other people speed up their development. But overall, the BMAD method has been like game changer for me. I've been able to knock out projects. I don't know if it's 10 or 100 times faster than I could before, and there's literally been no like technical issue that I've run into that haven't been able to somehow push through with this. And I really think it's the framework more than anything. So definitely appreciate the creator of that BMAD method and the community around it. So definitely recommend it. Thanks.